Hey guys, welcome back to the Takedown with Cliff Schecter. Today, man, I was reading this hilarious story. Arnold Schwarzenegger, you may know, former Republican, very moderate Republican, didn't agree with everything he did, but actually was someone who believed in governing and was pro-choice and for gun safety and all sorts of things. Just wrecked former almost Attorney General Jeffrey Clark, the pencil neck dork that Trump wanted to install so that he could commit a coup. You may remember Jeffrey Clark. He was the assistant. What was his actual position? Let's get this right, because he was a real big shot. He was the acting secretary, acting assistant secretary of Environment and Natural Resources, which over at the Department of Justice is pretty much being like, I'm the acting undersecretary, sort of, kind of attorney general of changing light bulbs. Like, he was in some goofy job where nobody paid any attention to him. It was like the guy from the movie Office Space who's sitting there with his stapler, like, playing around. Every guy was like, and Trump, of course, after the election, when everybody else, acting Attorney General Jeffrey Rose and other folks were like, no, we're not going to commit a coup for you. Jeffrey Clark was like, I will, because I'm a loser, and I'll do anything, Donald, anything so I can be near you, because I think you're one of the cool kids, because I was the guy. Jeffrey Clark's the guy that was always picked last at recess. Let's be honest. You'll see if you get a picture of him. We'll probably show you one here. So he was almost installed from his secondary below in the basement with no desk, with water leaking out of his head, dork position to being actual acting attorney general. But so many people at the Justice Department threatened to resign in a huge mass resignation that Trump knew that if he did it, it would cause a huge uproar, so he couldn't get away with it. Because this dork was going to try to steal the election for Trump. He wrote memos, and I don't know, he swore blood oaths, I think, and wrote in crayon about how much he loved Trump. Trump's so dreamy. Probably still doesn't even get invited to Mar-a-Lago to get bed bugs like everybody else at this point in time. But in any case, so that's what Jeffrey Clark is. And so he, of course, jumped right in behind the Harper case, which is going to the Supreme Court. Harper case is dangerous, folks. The Harper case is the one that would take state gerrymanderings, state legislative seats out of the hands of state justices, Supreme Courts, and put it in the hands of already gerrymandered state legislatures. This is the one everybody's scared of because, of course, Republicans don't know how to win when everybody votes. They don't know what to do if people actually can choose who they like and can look at people like Mehmet Oz and Herschel Walker and everybody can actually express their vote and say, yeah, maybe we don't want the people with brain damage who kill puppies. Where were we? In any case, you've got Clark, who, so Schwarzenegger, pardon me, came out and put out an amicus brief, friend of the court, against the Harper decision that is going to be in front of the Supreme Court, or against deciding that gerrymandering should be the province of state legislatures. It should be decided by Supreme Court justices. In some places they're appointed, many they're elected. It is another check on power that Republicans don't want. And Schwarzenegger's been politically active, mostly on climate change and other sort of issues that when there was something called a moderate Republican, they stood for. And Clark got pissed. Jeffrey Clark, the little dork, and he thought he'd mess with Arnold Schwarzenegger, which is hilarious because Schwarzenegger has so much more charisma than him and could probably just pummel him even with one of his 70-year-old arms. So Clark sent out a tweet that said, when faux Republican, the Arnold, is demothballed to file an amicus brief at the Supreme Court, one authored by significant Democrat Supreme Court practitioner, blah, 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 right? It's all Democrats' faults. The Democratic Party is very, very concerned. So they're very concerned because somehow we dug up Arnold Schwarzenegger. Turns out Schwarzenegger's been a long-time opponent of gerrymandering. He passed and pushed for the reform in California that led to there being equal seats, at least as equal as they could be, so there would not be gerrymandering. This has been a long time thing of his because he believes in government. And so Clark tried to act like, fake Republican, because if you have to be a fake Republican, like Liz Cheney is no longer Republican, even though her dad was frickin' vice president and she was in leadership. Because if you disagree with the cult, you must be a Democrat or a liberal or eat babies or I don't know. Arnold, of course, responded, and it was beautiful. Because you may remember Jeffrey Clark, being the scumbag he is and writing the memos he wrote, had his home raided by the FBI, and literally there were images taken of him standing outside his home. He got kicked out of his home and was standing there in his underwear. So befitting of this little loser dork who probably got like snot balls thrown at him in class and never got picked in recess and has just been walking around begging for people to talk to him his whole life. There's a picture of this little dork standing out there in his actual undies as the FBI is raiding his house. So he sends out his tweet, "Whoa, where mothballed Arnold Schwarzenegger? Where'd they dig him up to come out? Democrats must be scared." And Arnold, of course, tweeted out a picture of this loser in his underwear in front of his house, looking down and dorky. And Arnold said, "Thanks for the kind message. I love this photo of you. But you want some tips on squatting to build up those legs? I'm here for you." And the humiliation was complete. The dorky loser guy with the chicken legs that look like they're about to sort of sag off, and Arnold Schwarzenegger mocked him for that too. Just a tour de force. Thank you, Arnold. That's what you need to do with these guys. They're pathetic. They're losers. They're self-loathing. They crave power so badly because they don't feel like they have any themselves. And you just need to mock them for that. So thank you, Arnold. Hey guys, thanks for watching the countdown. Why did I do this? Thanks for watching the takedown. I'm going to probably screw that up. I think I owed somebody something if I mess it up again. Thank you for watching the takedown with Schecter. And we'll be making many more now that I have defeated the COVID beast. Turn on your notifications, subscribe, and we'll have more.